Good evening. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Poonam Burde. Baba Siddique was a name that was popular in both political circles and in the film industry in Mumbai. Coming from humble beginnings, the 66-year-old was a long-time congressman, only to change loyalties to the Ajit Pawar faction in February this year. The three-term MLA was shot dead on Saturday in the heart of the financial capital in Mumbai. This, despite Baba Siddique being under Y category security protection. That has now thrown up a lot of questions, which we will delve into through the course of the show. But first, let me put forth some facts. The attack occurred around 9:30 p.m. on Saturday. This happened outside Siddique's son, Zishan Siddique's office. Despite the presence of one police guard, the attackers took advantage of the fireworks and the crowd because it was Durga Puja, it was Navratri and Dussehra on Saturday. There was a lot of crowd that had gathered right outside Zishan Siddique's office. The police guard, incapacitated allegedly by pepper spray that was being carried by these accused, was unable to retaliate even as 6 shots were fired by the accused. The Mumbai Police has identified at least 6 accused in connection with the murder of the former Maharashtra Minister Baba Siddique. 3 are in custody, 3 others are still at large, all of whom are believed to be guns for hire. Zishan Akhtar is believed to be the mastermind of this entire plot. He is known to have connections with notorious gangs. He has links with the Lawrence Bishnoi gang, first and foremost, and the most important lead as far as this investigation goes. He also has ties with the Pune gangster who was questioned in the case of a threat letter that was sent to Salman Khan's father, Salman Khan. Now, Zishan allegedly met Gurmail Singh, who was one of the shooters in Haryana's Kaithal. Another shooter, Shiv Kumar Gautam, was hired from Pune. He is believed to be a scrap worker that was employed in Pune. He was the one who opened fire on Baba Siddique with a 9.9 mm pistol. Police said that a total of 6 rounds were fired, one of which struck Siddique in the chest, causing him to collapse on the spot. He was eventually rushed to Lilavati Hospital, only to be declared brought dead. 2 brothers from Pune, Praveen and Shubham Lonkar, are also accused in this case. Praveen worked in a dairy shop in Pune. He is believed to have hired Shiv Kumar and Dharamraj Kashyap. Now, a day after the killing, which is on Sunday, which is yesterday, the Lawrence Bishnoi gang took responsibility through a social media post that was made by Shubham Lonkar. So far, Gurmail Singh, Praveen Lonkar and Dharamraj Kashyap are arrested and the other 3 are still on the run. Now, Baba Siddique's killing ahead of the assembly elections in Maharashtra, which are expected to be held next month, have kicked off a political storm. As the fallout unfolds, the focus is now turned to law and order situation, governance and also the implications for various political factions in the state. First and foremost, of course, like I said, the law and order situation in the state. Elections are just around the corner, and this murder has raised urgent questions about whether or not that situation is deteriorating. The overall narrative of failure of governance, that really is the plank that the opposition has decided to use. They've seized this opportunity to criticize the ruling Shinde government, labeling it a failure on multiple fronts. They argue that the current administration has not done enough to curb rising crime rates at all. What's even interesting is that opposition is gunning for the Home Minister, which is also the Deputy Chief Minister in the case, Devendra Fadnavis. As tensions are escalating, there are calls that are being made for the resignation of Fadnavis. That chorus is only becoming louder, not so much what the Shinde government is doing, but that the Home Minister of the state or the Deputy Chief Minister who has the home portfolio, he must go, is the pitch that the opposition is making. Now, despite the recent setback in the Lok Sabha elections, the Ajit Pawar faction could now come to the negotiating table with higher seats. They're reportedly considering this strategy for the upcoming elections. They're likely to capitalize on this turmoil that has hit the party for greater representation. What also is important is that this has brought back into focus what Mumbai used to witness in the 1990s, the return of gang-related crimes. As accusations are flying thick and fast, is this becoming the new routine, or are we seeing a repeat of the 1990s where underworld ran amok in Mumbai? That's a question that many are asking. That's also becoming a central theme as far as opposition's attack on the NDA government in Maharashtra is concerned. So the question that we want to ask here on Plain Speak is simply this, that even as the probe continues and the politics only gets shriller, is Mumbai witnessing this street-style gang war, and unfortunately, is that making a comeback? We open that up.
ऑफेंस का अभी इन्वेस्टिगेशन क्राइम ब्रांच की तरफ से हर एक एंगल से किया जा रहा है। इस घटना में लॉरेंस बिश्नोई गैंग का जो रोल है उसके बारे में हम इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रहे हैं.
आज ज्यांच्या हातामध्ये सत्ता आहे आणि ते ज्या पद्धतीनं प्रशासकीय निर्णय घेतात याची सामान्य लोकांच्या चिंगल व्हावी अशी स्थिती त्यांनी निर्माण केली.
मग एवढं आमच्यावरती जेवढं लक्ष आहे तेवढं गुन्हेगारांवरती का नाहीये?
अभी जो भी कानून हाथ में लेगा उसको बिल्कुल बख्शा नहीं जाएगा, उसके ऊपर कड़ी कार्रवाई की जाएगी, फांसी की सजा होगी. निश्चित रूप से उसके लिए पूरी कोशिश हम करेंगे.
Joining me on this broadcast, Radhika Khera, spokesperson of the BJP, Sushil Vyas, spokesperson of Shiv Sena, the Eknath faction, Anish Gawande, spokesperson of the NCP of the Sharad Pawar faction, and OP Singh, former IPS, joins us on this broadcast. Let me open up by asking the former police officer on this panel. Do you find it strange of how things went down on Saturday night? This is a wise security protectee taking advantage of a crowd to gun down a man who is popular, who is a prominent figure, and is someone who has security. OP Singh?
You're right that this is a very gruesome murder. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, the fact that there has been a very gruesome murder which took place in Mumbai on Saturday night, that speaks volumes about the law and order situation of the state, and as also about the police functioning. But the fact remains that this is a very, very isolated case. I wouldn't call it a return of the gang-related war crimes or gang-related crimes which happened in early 90s or late 90s. The fact that you have the impending election of the Maharashtra Assembly, and the fact that this particular man who has been shot dead is a very influential politician. He has been a very powerful minister also, he had been. And the fact that Lawrence Bishnoi's gang is being, it's being attributed that he's the one who has masterminded everything. That is something that has made this particular incident very, very nationwide concern. I would say that the fact that it has happened on a very crowded street and on a particular day when you have thousands of people taking participation in Durga festival, and the three or four shooters come there, they shot dead one person, and after that they just sped away from that. It was the crowd which happened to nab them, and ultimately two of the shooters were nabbed by the people and the police. I think that was a gruesome murder. But I think the fact that it has been unearthed so early, so easily and so speedily, I must give credit to Mumbai Police for having gone into the linkages in operations, the speed of the operations as well as the spread of the linkages. So I think this is a concerning feature, no doubt about it, because the gang war is there, no doubt about it. But the fact remains that the Mumbai Police has acted very well professionally to nab two criminals, and as well as they are on the chase out for these remaining two of the criminals.
Yeah, 3 arrested, 3 still in the run, still at large. But Anish Gawande, the Chief Minister also going on to promise the strictest of punishments. The Ajit Pawar faction seems to be satisfied with where this is going, given that it's one of their leaders that was gunned down. Why does the opposition then think that there is an attempt perhaps to try and brush this under the carpet or try and shield those who are responsible? Because those are the kind of comments that are coming to the fore from the Aghadi leaders.
Because unfortunately, this is not an isolated incident, right? Just last week, another NCP Ajit Pawar faction leader, Mr. Kurmi, was killed in Baikala. A few months ago, Mr. Ghosalkar, a senior UBT leader, was killed on a Facebook Live, shot dead. So these are not isolated incidences, and this is the state of law and order in the state today. The bigger problem, though, is that you're seeing a culture of impunity that is being encouraged, that is leading to a loss of morale in the police forces. Take the Pune Posh case. where you had an NCP Ajit Pawar faction MLA, Mr. Sunil Tingre, going to the police station and being complicit in the swapping of blood samples at the Sassoon hospital, preventing justice from being sort of served until the opposition started raising questions. Look at what happened afterwards when the BJP chief's son was involved in another hit and run in Nagpur with no follow-up. This is leading to an incredible loss of morale in the police force, because the police are being told to file cases against those who come out and protest against the government, for example, protesters in Badlapur, but don't have the time to act upon credible intelligence received against people like Baba Siddique 15 days prior to him being gunned down in the middle of a street in Mumbai. So clearly, the Home Ministry is twiddling its fingers while law and order goes to the ground in Mumbai and across Maharashtra. And the only thing it's been able to do is put up posters of the Home Minister with a pistol in one hand and another AK-47 in another after the Badlapur incident, saying Badlapura. You've made law and order into a joke in the state. You've demoralized the police forces and you've continued to act with impunity. How long are people going to tolerate this? You're not going to get away with this so easily. People are tired and frustrated. And, people have stopped demanding the resignation of the Home Minister now, because if he had a conscience, he would have done so by now.
Radhika Khera, law and order has gone for a toss. Is the allegation that comes in from the opposition. There are bigger implications for this as well. It's election season in Maharashtra, and it looks like the opposition has made this their main plank. How do you respond?
Irony dies a gazillion deaths when the spokesperson of the same man who was the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, under whose rule the underworld thrived. Everybody knows how Sharad Pawarji encouraged the underworld and the condition of Maharashtra and Mumbai at that time. It was under his leadership he allowed the underworld to take over people's property. He ensured that no action was taken by the police against them. It was only the Bharatiya Janata Party who managed to bring the Makoka and ensured that the underworld was finished in Maharashtra. And we will also ensure if there is anyone who is coming up again and causing these issues, will be finished, because we are not the party. And we are not from his alliance party. Mr. Thackeray, when he was the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, his own, you remember his own office bearer, who later on was reinstated by Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, he went on to keep a bomb outside Ambaniji's house. So we know what they have done. And then when they come and give sermons over here, it's really, really, like I said, irony dies as in that there is something that has happened which is not acceptable at all, and we are working towards. And as you have seen, any time that something has happened, we have ensured that there has been speedy justice, and those people are brought to justice and they've been arrested. When was the last time that under their rule, when either Sharad Pawarji was Chief Minister or when Uddhav Thackeray, the MWay alliance was there, when were people caught and when were they taken to court, or when were action taken? Never. They were the ones, like I said, who encouraged terrorism. In fact, you remember the 26/11 and during the Congress rule. This is how Maharashtra has suffered under the rule of the Congress, under the rule of Mr. Sharad Pawar. How can we forget Indira Gandhi ji and her link to even Karim Lala? She used to go and visit him in his house. She used to, the Prime Minister of the country, the Congress Prime Minister, used to go and visit an underworld don, Karim Lala. So they have forever, encouraged underworld and terrorism all throughout. And now when they're coming on national television and giving us sermons, and the same Baba Siddique ji who they used to just till few hours before he died, do you remember the choices of words that they've used for him? He's a dal badlu, he has done this, he has done that, and lots of scandals they were coming up with. Now they are coming and talking, this has happened and that has happened. You cannot, be one day go and say something about someone and next day be like, oh my God, something wrong has happened. Please don't do this. People are not fools. We've seen how you played politics over every issue in Haryana. You people got an answer. Entire Mumbai, entire Maharashtra knows that how you have encouraged underworld and how people have been affected and how their lives were affected and how underworld had finished everything in Maharashtra. Today, the underworld is not there. Yes, there have been.
But the bigger question, the bigger
No,
question,
Radhika
Khera, yes, I will let you come in. 1 second, please.
Okay.
But Radhika Khera, the bigger question is also asked because, like Mr. Gangwar was also pointing out, this is not the first incident. This is the third political killing that has taken place in this 1 year. There were threats.
Yes,
there were threats that were received by both Baba Siddique and Zishan Siddique not too long ago before this incident happened. He is a Y security protectee. And if this can happen to someone who has security cover, then what happens to everybody else in Mumbai? That's the question that people are asking today. And it's not just the opposition. I don't think so.
You know, what has happened is absolutely unacceptable, and there is no way that I can defend that or prove that it was there has been a failure, and we are going to ensure that justice is served. But this is not the first time, or this is not the only incident that has happened in the Bharatiya Janata Party ruled state only. We had a sitting Prime Minister of the country who was gunned down by her own security personnel. How can we forget Indira Gandhi ji? How can we forget Rajiv Gandhi ji? So saying that, oh, there has been security and no one has ever succumbed to it, or no one has been ever killed because of that, and it is only the Bharatiya Janata Party's government that this has happened under, no. Indira Gandhi ji was the Prime Minister of the country when her own bodyguards shot at her and she died. Rajiv Gandhi ji was also killed like that. So saying that, blaming only the Bharatiya Janata Party government in Maharashtra that this is a collapse of law and order, yes, there has been an issue and there have been instances, like I said, but we are going to ensure, like I said, we are the ones who got in Makoka and ensured that the underworld was wiped out and people could live comfortably. And we were not the ones. I was Sharad. If you remember, Sharad Pawar ji had 2 underworld people traveling with him in his plane. How can anybody forget that in the 1990s when he was the Chief Minister? Everybody knows that. We are not the ones who carried underworld people.
Sure, but you know what? This is not about whataboutery. Sure, allegations can fly thick and fast. I understand the point you're trying to make, that this is... I understand the point you're trying to make is that today the Sharad Pawar faction can't claim high moral ground. Anish Gawande, that is the allegation against you. That as far as being guilty of law and order deteriorating, then all parties in Maharashtra are guilty of that. It's not one versus the other.
I'm grateful for the repeated history lessons we seem to be receiving on national television every day. I'm just surprised we haven't reached Prime Minister Nehru yet and blamed him for the situation in Maharashtra right now. So thank you very much for that. But beyond that, it's very funny that you say that Mr. Pawar was involved in the deteriorating law and order situation in Maharashtra and then the BJP cleaned it up. Because the 2 times when the BJP was in power after Mr. Pawar demitted office as Chief Minister in the 1990s, after coming to power in 1994, you were in an alliance with the same Shiv Sena that you are now calling as supporting terrorists. So in some ways, I think that the BJP has forgotten that governance is continuity. I think the bigger problem that I've highlighted over here is not that it's just that the BJP is responsible. I'm saying very specifically that one single Home Minister is responsible. And I've given you instance after instance after instance. With increasing impunity. We're saying that the government needs to be held accountable, that some heads need to roll. But unfortunately, over the last 2.5 years, we've seen absolutely no action. I'll tell you the reality of what happens at a police station in Maharashtra today. Whenever you go and report a crime, this is what happened in Badlapur, let's not forget, where a pregnant woman was made to wait more than 12 hours to file an FIR. Why? Because there was political pressure, because there were BJP trustees of that school. Anytime there is a law and order situation in this state, a state that prided itself on having an impeccable track record in law and order, one phone call goes and Nitesh Rane, their MLA, has said, I have the backing of Sagar Bangla when I make these claims. What is Sagar Bangla? The residence of Devendra Fadnavis ji. These are the kinds of phone calls that go to police stations, ordinary police stations today, to ensure that ordinary criminals, not just those who gun down politicians, but those who rape small children in the state, those who are involved in horrific instances like Bobdev Ghat, go unpunished. We're talking about a trend here. We're talking about a situation where tu janta hai mera baap kaun hai culture has reached Maharashtra.
Sure, yes. Radhika Kera, 30 seconds for a rebuttal. Please, I need to get in Sushil Vyas also. He's been patiently waiting.
The India Alliance has still not learned. They have been claiming all these false things in Haryana. They got a befitting reply from Haryana. And please, when you talk about Badlapur, also highlight the fact that when this came out, we ensured that those policemen were suspended. Did you ever ensure, while I have it on record, that the Mumbai Civic Body, G.R. Khernar, who was the Municipal Commissioner of the Mumbai Civic Body in 1993, the Assistant Municipal Commissioner, he went on record to say how many times Mr. Sharad Pawar had called him to say that, no, you should not bring down these particular buildings because they belong to so-and-so underworld people, and how Mr. Sharad Pawar used to call him for those underworld people. How many people did you remove from who were not doing their duty? In fact, when the Chief Minister, Mr. Sharad Pawar, used to call up the authorities and tell them nahi inko bacha ke rakhiye, ye hamare kaam ke log hain, ye hamare apne log hain. So it's shameful. And I will repeat it again, when you're talking about Badlapur, tell the people the truth. And the truth is that those policemen who refused to file the report were suspended immediately after it came to our knowledge and it came out. Do you
And
have
what
the
happened to the
guts do that?
BJP
No,
trustee?
because you ensured. Excuse me.
What happened to the BJP trustee?
Why did you only selectively talk about Badlapur and not give the entire thing? See, this is what you
No,
people
I'm
do.
saying what
You
happened to
create
the
a
BJP
fake
trustees?
narrative right from the time. I did not speak in between. You created a fake narrative right from the time कि संविधान खतरे में है. Then you went on to say in Haryana that किसान खतरे में है, पहलवान खतरे में है, and now you're here talking about Badlapur and only giving half-baked facts. Why did you hide this from the people right now in your when you were talking? Why did you not say that the Bharatiya Janata Party alliance government in Maharashtra ensured that those police people were suspended? You very conveniently forgot those facts and you did not highlight them. So shameful that at a time when everybody needs to be together. But yes, of course, you are the ones who have, like I said, it is under your people that underworld has always thrived. So it is troubling you that we have caught people. The entire problem here is that the Mahavikas Aghadi is hurt because they know that these people will be taken to task and justice will be served.
Okay.
We've already caught hold of people and they are the ones who have forever shielded the underworld. They are the ones who have ensured that the underworld thrive. Why the Bharatiya Janata Party? And they know this very well that it was the Bharatiya Janata Party.
And even
who
if
got the
there
vote.
is,
And we
even if
ensured
that is the
underworld
case, be
was
that as
finished.
it may, that does not mean Mumbai would want a repeat of that. But nonetheless, having said that, I request you to stay on with us. Sushil Vyas is also with us here. Sushil Vyas, there are bound to be political implications of this. Like I said, it looks like the opposition has made this their main plank as far as Maharashtra elections go. But do you find it interesting that the opposition speaks not of the NDA and their attack is only centered towards the Deputy Chief Minister who holds the home portfolio, who is a BJP leader, Mr. Fadnavis?
Poonamji, at the outset, I must say this. It was a shocking incident which took place the day before yesterday night when my friend Baba Siddique was killed. We worked together for 30 years in political life. But anyway, as you said, opposition is trying to score a number game because elections are near about any date may be announced. And it is a very unfortunate that such incidents can also be used for politicizing the matter. But what Mr. Gawande was saying just now, just half a minute about Badlapur trustees. Mr. Gawande, you must know that the case is also filed against them. Even they went to court, even their anticipatory bail application is rejected. The law will take its own course now. The already case is filed. It's not that anybody is spared. Nobody will be spared. Whosoever he or she may be, or his affiliation to any party or any leader. So please rest assured. Now coming to these incidents, what, as Radhika ji said, it is undefendable. There are lapses, we admit. But immediately police came into action. Within half an hour, two culprits were arrested from the spot itself. And they were produced before the magistrate, on special magistrate, holiday magistrate, rather because it was Sunday yesterday. And they were remanded to police custody till 21st October. And now they are in legal custody. O.P. Singh ji will agree with me, once the accused are produced before the court and remanded, it is custody of judge concerned. And what further action has to be taken as per the law will be decided by the concerned court, not by the government in power or by the Chief Minister or the Deputy Chief Minister or Home Minister like that. Now they are in custody, legal custody. The law will decide what actions should be taken, from what angle the investigation should take place, where accused should be taken for this, sport inspection, etc. Who was involved, what was the motive behind this, and everything will be gone into it. So we want to make rest assured to the people of Maharashtra, nobody will be spared.
So Mr. Vyas, then do you think that this will have an impact politically or no? Because the opposition believes it will.
Poonamji, definitely not, because people in Maharashtra know how the present government in Maharashtra is working for the welfare of this Maharashtra people, how the development works are every day we are doing for people. Maybe it is infrastructure development or maybe the welfare scheme for our sisters, our senior citizens. So we are not worried about that. But question is, this unfortunate incident also, whosoever is involved will not be spared. The law will
Absolutely,
take
and the
its own
truth
course.
must come
And there
out
will-
irrespective
Mr. Gawande, be
irrespective
assured,
of who is
there
in
will not be-
power.
there
Such
will not
crimes
be
cannot
any-
go unpunished, especially given that this was a Y protectee politician, a prominent figure. A message must be sent out that you cannot get away by gunning someone down. You cannot get away by taking the law in your own hands, irrespective of who it is. And that message needs to be sent out loud and clear. And that's perhaps all that Mumbai and Maharashtra wants. I have to leave it at that. I thank you all for joining us here on this broadcast and sharing your perspective. We are slipping into a quick break on this edition of Plain Speak, but on the other side, we'll get you the big debate coming in from Karnataka, where the Congress government's selective approach in withdrawing cases is fueling a big debate.
At L'Oréal Group.
बहराइच में लोग काफी ज्यादा गुस्से में हैं। यहाँ पर जिले की एसपी यहाँ पर पहुंचे हैं, लेकिन लोग अपना गुस्सा यहाँ पर उनके सामने दिखा रहे हैं। और यहाँ पर देखिए, मैं आपको तस्वीरें दिखाऊं तो आप देखिए एसपी के साथ यहाँ पर जाते हुए जितने भी लोग यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं, जितने भी यहाँ पर लोग हैं, उनके लोगों के हाथों में देख सकते हैं आप डंडा है। पुलिस प्रशासन को देखते ही वो गुस्सा भड़क गया उनका। और यहाँ पर देखिए किस तरीके से जो लोग हैं वो निकल रहे हैं अपने घरों से। तो दूसरी तरफ देखिए, गांव के अंदर से लोग जो है हाथों में लाठी डंडा लिए हुए वो बाहर निकल रहे हैं। और इन लोगों की बस एक ही मांग है कि जो लोग वहां पर उपद्रवी थे, जिन लोगों ने लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन खराब किया, उन लोगों के खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई की जाए। तो यहाँ पर आप यहाँ पर तस्वीरें यहाँ पर देख रहे हैं, देखिए हेवी डिप्लॉयमेंट, उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस के जवानों की हेवी डिप्लॉयमेंट यहाँ पर। और हेवी डिप्लॉयमेंट के साथ गांव के अंदर से इस वक्त जो मृतक राम गोपाल है उनकी बॉडी यहाँ पर आ रही है। और लोगों के चेहरे पर आप गुस्सा साफ देख सकते हैं कि लोग किस तरीके से यहाँ पर गुस्से में है। काफी ज्यादा तादाद में कई गांवों के लोग यहाँ पर इकट्ठा हुए हैं। और मृतक राम गोपाल का बॉडी जो है वो इस वक्त यहाँ पर आता हुआ इलाके के एसपी जो है वो लगातार आगे यहाँ पर चल रही हैं।
देखिए, आप सामने की तरफ जो एजेंसी देख सकते हैं, ये गाड़ियों और यहाँ पर जो है ये तस्वीरें जो है ये बेहद ऐसे में लगातार अधिकारी जो है अभी फिलहाल कुछ ये कह रहे हैं कि अभी स्थिति में बनी हुई है, बोलने को तैयार नहीं हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि ये पूरा जो मामला है उसमें काफी तनाव हो चुका है और लगातार जो लापरवाही है।
अब भारी पुलिस फोर्स महाराजगंज कस्बे में आ गया है और पूरी फोर्स जो है वो एरिया डोमिनेशन के लिए निकल गया है। हालांकि जो आक्रोशित भीड़ थी उसने यहाँ पर जमकर अराजकता मचाई है। कई घरों में, कई दुकानों में तोड़फोड़ की गई है। कई प्रतिष्ठानों को, दुकानों को, कई वाहनों को आग के हवाले किया गया है। एक यहाँ पर एजेंसी में आग लगा दी गई है जो बाइक की बताई जा रही है। आप देख सकते हैं सामान भी बाहर निकाला गया है, फिर उसको फूंक दिया गया है। हालांकि अब यहाँ पर पुलिस प्रशासन के तमाम अफसर मौजूद हो गए हैं और इस पूरे हालात को काबू में करने की कोशिश की जा रही है। खुद एसपी की ओर से ये कहा गया है कि जहां ज़रूरत हो वहां पर उपद्रवियों को काबू करने के लिए टीयर गैस चलाया। आप देख सकते हैं एजेंसी में जो तमाम बाइकें रखी हुई थी उनको आग के हवाले किया गया है और पूरा काला धुआं इस पूरे इलाके में फैल गया है। पुलिस प्रशासन इस बेकाबू भीड़ को समय पर नहीं संभाल सका और कई दुकानों को, वाहनों को आग के हवाले किया गया है। कैमरामैन अनिल के साथ ऋषभ मणि त्रिपाठी, न्यूज़ 18 बहराइच।
Remember, there has been a communal flare-up in Bahraich in Uttar Pradesh. The situation is going completely out of hand. The youth who died in the violence that erupted after there was stone pelting and firing that was reported from the Maharajganj area of Bahraich after Durga procession, immersion procession was really being carried out from that area. That youth, the killing of that youth has led to this communal flare-up. We also do know how the body, the mortal remains of the youth was handed over to the family of the victim, and they are now, along with other people from the village, parading the body, and there is an incident of arson that has also been reported. Things are completely out of hand in that area. There has been a direction by the state chief minister for the police to increase manpower at the immersion sites and also police personnel to be deployed at the village. We have just presented a couple of ground reports from this area after these instances of violence and arson has been reported. We can see our colleagues Amit and Rishabh, who are on ground along with their colleagues, and they in fact are
Thank you for staying with us. Congress in Karnataka faces allegations of appeasement once again. The Congress-led Karnataka government's selective case withdrawal has sparked protests in the state, with the BJP knocking on the doors of the governor as well. Over the last few days, the state government has withdrawn several cases against members of the minority community, including certain AIMIM leaders. The state cabinet recently approved the withdrawal of charges against AIMIM leader Zahiruddin Ansari, who was booked for organizing a Hijab is Our Right procession in Kalaburgi. Now, this protest took place during the third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic and resulted in cases that were filed under the Epidemic Diseases Act. The controversy is speaking because this is not the first instance. As the Karnataka government steers through troubled waters, the question is that are they giving a free pass to rioters? Because on Friday, Congress-led government withdrew criminal cases against AIMIM leader Muhammad Arif and 138 others. This decision, made during a cabinet meeting, includes charges of attempted murder, rioting and other serious offences. AIMIM leaders were accused of orchestrating a mob attack on the old Hubballi police station in April 2022. The violent mob stormed the police station, pelted stones. Several police personnel were injured, public property was damaged as well. The mob also allegedly targeted a nearby Hanuman temple and a hospital. Now, the Congress in Karnataka continues to face appeasement allegations because now we find out that the state cabinet approved the withdrawal of charges against another AIMIM leader who was involved in protests that advocated for girl students to wear hijab in educational institutions. The dropping of charges in this case adds another layer of complexity to the situation because not only are these people freed, but charges against Hindu students who were protesting against allowing these students with hijab inside educational institutions, those charges haven't been dropped and the cases there remain active. So then, with this latest move that has come to the fore, is it actually valid, or is this just vote bank politics of the Congress? That's what we asked tonight.
Ultimately, the cabinet will take a decision. Then also will present it before the court, respective courts. And if the court says yes, this can be withdrawn, or whatever the government has taken a decision is right, you can withdraw.
हिंदू कार्यकर्ता और हिंदू लोगों के ऊपर केस है तो वापस नहीं लाता है इस गवर्नमेंट। मुसलमान नहीं तो बहुत प्यार है, उसके लिए वापस लिया है।
Joining me on this broadcast, Kailash Adhikari, political analyst, Abdul Razak Khan, also an analyst. Abdul Razak Khan, let me begin by asking you, why is it that we're seeing these kind of cases being dropped by the Congress party despite several wings of the government, several wings of the administration objecting to it? Specifically, the police department, the Department of Prosecution and Government Litigations and the Law Department were all consulted about their opinions. They all objected against withdrawal of these cases.
Poonam, there have been petitions regarding this case wherein innocent people were arrested. It is very clear that 162 would not be involved in arson and stone throwing. Maybe there were 3 to 4 people who were involved in stone throwing, but there was no public damage to any kind of property. There was no kind of, barging into the police. I wanted to make a political point, and that's the reason why innocent people were picked up. Even the BJP has withdrawn cases. 385 cases were withdrawn from the year 2020 to 2023 under B.S. Yediyurappa and Bommai's regime. I'm saying 2,000 people were benefited. They all were from Bajrang Dal, Vishwa Hindu Parishad, RSS, Sanatan Sanstha, Hindu Rakshana Vedike, Hindu Jagarana Sena. Come on, all these things have happened in the past. The BJP only wants to make a political point that the Congress party is doing benefit to the Muslims. Why is it forgetting that its own MPs and MLAs cases have been withdrawn? Dr. Sudhakar is a BJP MP. His case has been withdrawn. Renukacharya is a former BJP MLA. It's a communal, provocative speech that he has given. The government is trying to withdraw even that case as well, including Somanna, the present MP, along with many other MLAs like C.T. Ravi. All these people belong to the BJP. It is not only this case. 66 cases were, recommended to be withdrawn, of which 43 cases have been withdrawn. This is not only minorities. I'm saying all other 42 cases belong to many other people, farmers, students. First of all, the BJP.
Mr. Khan, we'll try and reconnect that audio line with you. We're having some trouble, but I get the point that you're making, that this is not to do with appeasement. Kailash Adhikari, that such decisions were taken by the BJP during their regime in Karnataka as well. So why make this entire hullabaloo about these cases being withdrawn?
There is an urgent need to make a hullabaloo about these cases because of the selective targeting that the Congress state government is Karnataka is doing, Poonam. If you're dropping a charge against a particular a section of people in a matter where the pro-hijab was there, why are you being selective in only dropping the charges against certain leaders or belonging to a certain minority? And what about the others who belong to a majority? And on top of that, the 2002 Hubballi riots, where more than 150 people were taken into custody, where not only the police personnel were injured. Now the police is there to protect us. Can one imagine what kind of this move is affecting the morale of the police? We are here, the policing system is here to protect us, our lives, the citizens, and the state government is taking certain actions which is demoralizing them. Apart from the fact, the judiciary, the prosecution, everyone is appealing that these cases should not be withdrawn. There was destruction to public property. There was destruction and even policemen were injured. What kind of a state government are you running? And you are dropping all the cases? The National Investigative Agency, Poonam, NIA is investigating the matter. Then what is the hurry? Why are you in so hurry? Haven't you learned lessons in the past after 2014, Poonam, and also after the debacle of 2014 in the general elections, when the Congress party had released an internal memo, regarding an assessment of what led to the debacle of 44 seats? There was one point which came to the forefront and highlight. Congress was seen as an anti-majority party. It was seen as an anti-Hindu party, which was highlighted. But the Congress has not acted upon it. In 10 years, it has rather strengthened itself. And in one of the prior debates on your broadcast as well, we were debating the fact that Congress is now the new Muslim League. And I believe that each and every step that the Congress is taking is towards renaming or rechristening itself as the new Muslim League.
Abdul Razak Khan, I believe now you're back with us. There was some issue with your audio, but yes, go ahead with the point you were making. And also the question is being asked of why this is selective, because in case of this hijab protests, there was one section against whom the cases have been dropped, but the other section, those cases still remain. In that one particular instance, why that disparity?
Section, nobody protested, nothing happened. It was only one section which protested against the hijab. During hijab, there was no protest on the Muslim side. There were only the students standing silently and peacefully. Only the Hindu people who did not want hijab protested. Now, all that I am trying to question to you is, Madam, during the Banjara community riots, the Banjara community threw stones on Yediyurappa's house. Many policemen were hurt even then. Cases were not booked. ABVP activists barged the house of the Home Minister. They broke open the windows. They broke the house door. They were left out on station bail. I am saying there is a case, IPC section 485 for arson and rioting. Why do you want to go ahead and book them under UAPA? Come on, all people will book them under UAPA. Now, why is this issue being picked up by BJP? The reason being they want to make this thing benefit out of the Maharashtra elections. They want to make a point that Congress is doing this only for Muslims. This is not exclusively for the minority community. Please understand, BJP MLAs, MPs, everybody is going to be benefited. Now tell me about one case which was withdrawn about the minorities in all the 380 withdrawn during the Yediyurappa's and Basavaraj Bommai's regime. Why were not? Why only cases belonging to Hindu Jagran Vedike, Hindu Sanatan Sanstha were withdrawn? Why were minorities not given a chance? 385
so
cases.
if appeasement is a charge, Kailash Adhikari, then the BJP is at the receiving end of that same criticism and that same argument or charge because they've done it for one particular community.
You know, Poonam, Mr. Khan made a point that looking at the Maharashtra elections, the BJP is trying to say that, is trying to polarize this issue or say, I believe that looking at the Maharashtra election, the Karnataka Congress government is pushing hard for appeasement. When they saw that the Haryana debacle, and it's just about few days ago that the Congress has faced a good amount of debacle in Haryana, even after the fact that they could not take the advantage of anti-incumbency. It is time, Poonam, rather than doing all this, time for self-introspection to be done by the Congress party, that where it is headed. All the decisions that are taken by them or the respective state governments send out a crystal clear message of the fact that where the allegiance of the Congress party lies. Now you're freeing certain people who belong to the AIMM, who were accused under the unlawful, the UAPA Act, which is serious, very much serious in nature. When the NIA is investigating it, when there are the entire trial and the investigation is going on, what is the hurry for you to let go of those cases? Why can't law take its own course? India is a nation where there is a rule of law and there is judiciary. Why don't you have belief in the judiciary?
Sir, you should have also had belief in the judiciary when you withdrew 385 cases. Tell me one case which belonged to the minority during Yediyurappa and Bommai's tenure. 385 cases belonging to Hindu Jana Jagriti Sansthe, Hindu Vedike, Sanatan Sanstha, Sri Rama Sene, Vishwa Hindu Parishad, Bajrang Dal. Where were you that time? Why are you crying today?
In that case, Mr. Khan, so in that case, if the pro-hijab matter, the Karnataka Congress government is deciding to withdraw the cases, then why being selective in its respondents in against those who have filed the cases? Why only people of a certain minority community have been excused and the others have not? If the entire complaint is filed together, then actually there must be concrete evidence against all of them. If you don't find merit in that application now, then release everyone. Why only Hindus are not being released and only those people having belonging to a certain community are being selectively chosen, Poonam?
Sir, it is not a decision by the government alone. There is a subcommittee decided to look into it as to who qualifies for the case to be withdrawn.
And that very committee, Abdul Razak Khan, at least 3 wings of it came out and said that this shouldn't be done. Or is that dissent not to be looked into?
The judiciary has came out, Poonam, even the prosecution has come out and said that this should not be done.
3 wings, the law department, the prosecution and the police, all of them said that these cases should not be dropped.
Poonam, I am one of the petitioners for this Hubballi case, which, I have recommended, which I have requested the government to withdraw the cases. I will tell you, not a single injury, not a single property was damaged during this riot. Actually, this is being called a riot. Actually, it was not a riot. It was a display.
Then what would you say? What would you say to images that came to the fore from back then, where you could see arson, where you could see public property being damaged? Are you saying the 4 policemen that were injured in that violence were injured somehow by some instance that you can't explain?
I was on the ground. I am telling you with honesty. Those 4 policemen who were injured were not injured because of stone pelting. There was a very big mob while controlling them. There were simple injuries. Injuries were not fractures or cuts or wounds or something like that. They were simple injuries. There was not a single person who went inside the police station. They were all on the road. And to your this thing, I would like to let you know that the person Muhammad Arif, who was made to stand atop the police vehicle and control the crowd. The police requested him to stand on the vehicle. He did not climb up the vehicle. Later, the police made him an accused, again charging him on some charges. I am saying simply the Congress in charge was also booked there. I am saying the BJP wanted to make a political point, and that was the reason why so many people were booked. This is not related to DJLD, KJLD, where I certainly accept and condemn what happened in DJLD, KJLD riot.
But Mr. Khan, that's the point. I am glad you say that, because this has now opened a Pandora's box. Now we have from different quarters requests being made even for those particular cases, for the DJ Halli and KJ Halli riots, that those accused should also be let off. Because this sets a precedent. We had a Congress MLC today come out and say that. The Home Minister in the state, Mr. G. Parmeshwara, in the past has said it himself, that the family members have come to us and requested for those cases to be dropped. We'll consider it.
Let me tell you very clearly, barging inside the police station is always a crime. police is here to protect us. Whatever they did was absolutely wrong. But when it comes to Hubballi issue, it was the holy month of Ramadan. Come on, the Muslims are advised to be very peaceful during Ramadan. They did not do any kind of rioting and arson or something like that. It was only a demonstration. It was a public protest. They just stood in front of the police station demanding that the person be arrested and nothing more than that. I tell you with conviction, only one windshield of a policeman and one glass of
so this case, there was no violence at all. And Kailash Adhikari, this is something that the Chief Minister also said, that the case in itself was false to begin with. Last 30 seconds, please.
Poonam, no, this is fabricating the entire truth. If it was such a peaceful protest, then why was public property vandalized? Why were policemen who were there injured? Now the mob was, it was a big mob. That's why you have, Poonam, around 150 people, approximately, as accused. Now imagine to the tune of the fact that there are 150 people accused in a particular matter where a certain unrest, a civil unrest broke out. And that is why it is termed as riot. You know, we are not the people who are judging it, or the media who is covering it, or the people who are reporting it. They are not out of their minds to call a peaceful agitation as a riot, or a peaceful protest as a riot. It was called a riot because public property was vandalized, temples were vandalized, and on top of that, policemen were injured because of that.
And if there are some people that were innocent, like Abdul Razak Khan has been saying, or that the Congress has been saying, then the judiciary will decide that. The government of the day, cannot decide who's innocent and who's not, irrespective of which party does it.
India's democracy, Poonam, is the foremost pillar is judiciary.
Absolutely, and that faith in the judiciary must stay, which is also why we cannot set precedents like this. But having said that, I have to leave it at that because this controversy will only escalate further. But I thank you both, gentlemen, for joining us here on this broadcast and sharing your perspective. A quick break. On the other side, we will get you a sneak peek of an exclusive interview with Andhra Pradesh Minister Nara Lokesh. This is his first interview after the entire controversy over the Tirupati Laddu erupted. Do stay tuned for that.
बहराइच में लोग काफी ज्यादा गुस्से में हैं। यहाँ पर जिले की एसपी यहाँ पर पहुंचे हैं, लेकिन लोग अपना गुस्सा यहाँ पर उनके सामने दिखा रहे हैं। और यहाँ पर देखिए, मैं आपको तस्वीरें दिखाऊं तो आप देखिए एसपी के साथ यहाँ पर जाते हुए जितने भी लोग यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं, जितने भी यहाँ पर लोग हैं, उनके लोगों के हाथों में देख सकते हैं आप डंडा है। पुलिस प्रशासन को देखते ही वह गुस्सा भड़क गया उनका। और यहाँ पर देखिए किस तरीके से जो लोग हैं वो निकल रहे हैं अपने घरों से। तो दूसरी तरफ देखिए, गांव के अंदर से लोग जो है हाथों में लाठी डंडा लिए हुए वो बाहर निकल रहे हैं। और इन लोगों की बस एक ही मांग है कि जो लोग वहां पर उपद्रवी थे, जिन लोगों ने लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन खराब किया, उन लोगों के खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई की जाए। तो यहाँ पर आप यहाँ पर तस्वीरें यहाँ पर देख रहे हैं, देखिए हेवी डिप्लॉयमेंट, उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस के जवानों की हेवी डिप्लॉयमेंट यहाँ पर। और हेवी डिप्लॉयमेंट के साथ गांव के अंदर से इस वक्त जो मृतक रामगोपाल है उनकी बॉडी यहाँ पर आ रही है। और लोगों के चेहरे पर आप गुस्सा साफ देख सकते हैं कि लोग किस तरीके से यहाँ पर गुस्से में है। काफी ज्यादा तादाद में कई गांवों के लोग यहाँ पर इकट्ठा हुए हैं। और मृतक रामगोपाल का बॉडी जो है वो इस वक्त यहाँ पर आता हुआ इलाके के एसपी जो हैं वो लगातार आगे यहाँ पर चल रही हैं।
देखिए आप सामने की तरफ जो एजेंसी देख सकते हैं, ये गाड़ियों और यहाँ पर जो है ये तस्वीरें जो है ये बेहद ऐसे में लगातार अधिकारी जो है अभी फिलहाल कुछ ये कह रहे हैं कि अभी स्थिति में बनी हुई है, बोलने को तैयार नहीं हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि ये पूरा जो मामला है उसमें काफी तनाव हो चुका है और लगातार जो लापरवाही है।
अब भारी पुलिस फोर्स महाराजगंज कस्बे में आ गया है और पूरी फोर्स जो है वो एरिया डोमिनेशन के लिए निकल गया है। हालांकि जो आक्रोशित भीड़ थी उसने यहाँ पर जमकर अराजकता मचाई है। कई घरों में, कई दुकानों में तोड़फोड़ की गई है। कई प्रतिष्ठानों को, दुकानों को, कई वाहनों को आग के हवाले किया गया है। एक यहाँ पर एजेंसी में आग लगा दी गई है जो बाइक की बताई जा रही है। आप देख सकते हैं सामान भी बाहर निकाला गया है, फिर उसको फूंक दिया गया है। हालांकि अब यहाँ पर पुलिस प्रशासन के तमाम अफसर मौजूद हो गए हैं और इस पूरे हालात को काबू में करने की कोशिश की जा रही है। खुद एसपी की ओर से ये कहा गया है कि जहां ज़रूरत हो वहां पर उपद्रवियों को काबू करने के लिए टीयर गैस चलाया। आप देख सकते हैं एजेंसी में जो तमाम बाइकें रखी हुई थी उनको आग के हवाले किया गया है और पूरा काला धुआं इस पूरे इलाके में फैल गया है। पुलिस प्रशासन इस बेकाबू भीड़ को समय पर नहीं संभाल सका और कई दुकानों को, वाहनों को आग के हवाले किया गया है। कैमरामैन अनिल के साथ ऋषभ मणि त्रिपाठी, न्यूज़ 18, बहराइच।
Remember, there has been a communal flare-up in Bahraich in Uttar Pradesh. The situation is going completely out of hand. The youth who died in the violence that erupted after there was stone pelting and firing that was reported from the Maharajganj area of Bahraich after Durga procession, immersion procession was really being carried out from that area. That youth, the killing of that youth has led to this communal flare-up. We also do know how the body, the mortal remains of the youth was handed over to the family of the victim, and they are now, along with other people from the village, parading the body, and there is an incident of arson that has also been reported. Things are completely out of hand in that area. There has been a direction by the state chief minister for the police to increase manpower at the immersion sites and also police personnel to be deployed at the village. We have just presented a couple of ground reports from this area after these instances of violence and arson has been reported. We can see our colleagues Amit and Rishabh who are on ground along with their colleagues, and they in fact are reporting that the situation is really tense. You can see a bike agency that has been set on fire, new bikes that have been set on fire by the locals who are protesting the death of one of their kin. We are talking about Ram Gopal.
Supreme Court heard the matter. It's formed now a special SIT of its own. Some officials from your state police, some officials from the CBI. The court did raise some questions about the manner in which the state sort of jumped the gun on this issue. How would you speak to that?
I mean, it's not politics, it's actually governance. When the Chief Minister has a certain report on his desk, he is duty bound to explain it to his citizens. So if he keeps the report under wraps, then people will question him why he kept it under wraps. I think that's very unfair. So being as the head of the state, it was his responsibility to explain to people that this has come to his attention, and subsequently he formed a SIT. To that SIT, the Honorable Supreme Court has added 2 members from the CBI and 1 member to the FSSAI. So it has never found fault for starting a SIT, so just to be clear on record. So in that way I believe that we are accountable to our citizens, and anything that comes to our attention, we have to explain it to our citizens. And I think what we did was absolutely right.
I believe the court also said this in its order that the 2 cases were registered on the, or the cases were discovered on the 6th and the 12th of July, and yet Mr. Naidu held a press conference about it on the 18th of September. Basically, the court was questioning the timing, saying you got the report in July, but why did you decide to go public on the 18th of September?
The report came to the executive officer of TTD, and then he needs to submit it to the government. So that has a certain process to be done. Once Mr. Naidu got the report, he explained it to the public.
Your political opponent, the former Chief Minister, has said that this is purely political in nature and that there was no merit in these allegations, and in any case, no adulterated ghee was used to make laddus.
NDDB report is quite clear that there was adulteration. Anyway, now there is a SIT. The SIT will do its investigation now and submit a report soon. So I think everything will come out in front of the public.
What do you say to those people who say that this whole thing was politically motivated because you want to conquer the Hindu vote bank, as it were, to try and also checkmate your ally Mr. Pawan Kalyan, who was aggressively promoting Hindu causes, and establish Mr. Chandrababu Naidu as a more credible Hindu leader, also keeping in check your ally the BJP and its political ambitions in the state? How would you respond to that?
See, as a family we are devout Hindus. As a political party we have always been a secular party. So we believe that we need to carry everyone to develop a nation. And India has an amazing social fabric that we need to take forward. So I think it's very unfair to attribute anything for nothing but Mr. Naidu putting out facts. he is duty bound to put facts in front of people. He is not like other chief ministers or other ministers who might want to put it aside. No. He said, this is what I've come and it's important for me to explain it to the public. And he took that step and he explained it.
At L'Oréal Group.
बहराइच में लोग काफी ज्यादा गुस्से में हैं। यहाँ पर जिले की एसपी यहाँ पर पहुंचे हैं, लेकिन लोग अपना गुस्सा यहाँ पर उनके सामने दिखा रहे हैं। और यहाँ पर देखिए, मैं आपको तस्वीरें दिखाऊं तो आप देखिए एसपी के साथ यहाँ पर जाते हुए जितने भी लोग यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं, जितने भी यहाँ पर लोग हैं, उनके लोगों के हाथों में देख सकते हैं आप डंडा है। पुलिस प्रशासन को देखते ही वो गुस्सा भड़क गया उनका। और यहाँ पर देखिए किस तरीके से जो लोग हैं वो निकल रहे हैं अपने घरों से। तो दूसरी तरफ देखिए, गांव के अंदर से लोग जो है हाथों में लाठी डंडा लिए हुए वो बाहर निकल रहे हैं। और इन लोगों की बस एक ही मांग है कि जो लोग वहां पर उपद्रवी थे, जिन लोगों ने लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन खराब किया, उन लोगों के खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई की जाए। तो यहाँ पर आप यहाँ पर तस्वीरें यहाँ पर देख रहे हैं, देखिए हेवी डिप्लॉयमेंट, उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस के जवानों की हेवी डिप्लॉयमेंट यहाँ पर। और हेवी डिप्लॉयमेंट के साथ गांव के अंदर से इस वक्त जो मृतक राम गोपाल है उनकी बॉडी यहाँ पर आ रही है। और लोगों के चेहरे पर आप गुस्सा साफ देख सकते हैं कि लोग किस तरीके से यहाँ पर गुस्से में है। काफी ज्यादा तादाद में कई गांवों के लोग यहाँ पर इकट्ठा हुए हैं। और मृतक राम गोपाल का बॉडी जो है वो इस वक्त यहाँ पर आता हुआ इलाके के एसपी जो है वो लगातार आगे यहाँ पर चल रही हैं।
देखिए, आप सामने की तरफ जो एजेंसी देख सकते हैं, ये गाड़ियाँ और यहाँ पर जो है ये तस्वीरें जो है ये बेहद ऐसे में लगातार अधिकारी जो है अभी फिलहाल कुछ ये कह रहे हैं कि अभी स्थिति में बनी हुई है, बोलने को तैयार नहीं हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि ये पूरा जो मामला है उसमें काफी तनाव हो चुका है और लगातार जो लापरवाही है।
अब भारी पुलिस फोर्स महाराजगंज कस्बे में आ गया है और पूरी फोर्स जो है वो एरिया डोमिनेशन के लिए निकल गया है। हालांकि जो आक्रोशित भीड़ थी उसने यहाँ पर जमकर अराजकता मचाई है। कई घरों में, कई दुकानों में तोड़फोड़ की गई है। कई प्रतिष्ठानों को, दुकानों को, कई वाहनों को आग के हवाले किया गया है। एक यहाँ पर एजेंसी में आग लगा दी गई है जो बाइक की बताई जा रही है। आप देख सकते हैं सामान भी बाहर निकाला गया है, फिर उसको फूंक दिया गया है। हालांकि अब यहाँ पर पुलिस प्रशासन के तमाम अफसर मौजूद हो गए हैं और इस पूरे हालात को काबू में करने की कोशिश की जा रही है। खुद एसपी की ओर से ये कहा गया है कि जहां ज़रूरत हो वहां पर उपद्रवियों को काबू करने के लिए